I'd like to demonstrate, tell the story.
And I'd like to be the demonstratee.
Right, and you have a story in mind.
I do, one that I thought was a bit resolved, but maybe not.
How long did we just talk about it? 20 seconds?
Something like that, yeah.
And you got it back.
Well, I got pieces of it back, yes.
Right,
It got
yeah.
worked up a bit, yes.
Right, and so how old is the story? How old were you?
Well, I was 16 years old.
16 years old.
On the mound pitching baseball.
Okay. Well, so we're going to do tell the story, which means you're going to tell me the story here in a minute.
Yes.
Not quite yet.
Yes.
I'm sure you know the instructions, but we're doing a demonstration,
That's
so
right.
I will deliver
That's
them to
right.
you. First, let's find out how long does the event last that we're going to deal with here.
Oh, a minute and a half, something like that.
Okay. How many crescendos do you expect?
Probably 2.
And it's a minute and a half for both of those crescendos?
No, both of them are within the minute and a half.
Right. That's, I think, what
Okay.
I...
Actually, if I think about it, the whole thing really collapses down into about 10 seconds, you know.
Right.
You know.
Okay.
Let me itch myself. Go ahead.
Good. Okay, and so what would the title of the story be?
I almost died.
You almost died.
Yeah.
That's not dramatic.
No, not dramatic at all. Sorry.
Okay, I almost died, and so if you almost died, how intense would that be from 0 to 10?
Well, I'm probably fooling myself a little bit. My guess is I'm probably a 6 or so.
Okay.
But if I really got into it, you know, I might be higher. But for the
Right.
moment, I'm assessing a 6.
Okay, so I'm thinking it's probably best to do some global rounds before we...
Yeah. At the time,
talk
it was a
about-
46.
As a
Okay.
46.
Okay.
Okay. You've come down quite a bit.
I'm sorry, but anyway, global. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, so we're going to do some global rounds. We're going to tap on ourselves,
Okay.
but we're going to try to take the edge off
Yes.
before you tell the story.
Yes.
Okay? So
Okay.
follow along with me.
All right.
Even though
Even though
I almost died
I almost died,
and I'm intense at a 6,
and I'm intense at a 6,
I deeply and completely
I
accept myself.
deeply and completely accept myself.
I almost died.
I almost died.
This I almost died story.
It says I almost died story.
This I almost died story.
This I almost died story.
I almost died.
I almost died.
This I almost died story.
I almost died.
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 Okay, so if that was a 6 or 7 before, if you could get back to that and see.
Well,
You're any
as you can tell from my breath, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the edge came out. I'd say a 3 or 4 or something.
Okay, would you like to do another global round to see if we can get it down further?
I don't think it's necessary. We may find out otherwise, but I don't think it's necessary.
Because you said you might be surprising you or
I might.
by 6 or 7.
I might.
Okay, well, if you feel comfortable starting to tell the story, then I'll deliver you the instructions. What you want to do is find a neutral point before anything was happening in the story, where everything was safe.
Mm-hmm.
From that neutral point, you're going to tell me the story chronologically, you know, just frame by frame. And whenever you feel any kind of intensity, you know, physically, emotionally, you know, anything at all, you're going to stop and we'll tap through that, because what that means is we have a disruption to address.
Yes.
By tapping through it, we have an opportunity to not only clear that disruption, but minimize your emotional pain.
Yes.
So that we don't end up at a 46.
Okay. Right. Right. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So if you're ready, you find the neutral point and get started.
Yes, I was 16 years old, and we were having a baseball game, something called Colt League. It's like Little League, but for kids that are 15 and 16 years old. And I was going to pitch that night, and before the game started, why there was another player on the other team, tall, lanky kid, name was Jim Cross, and I was warming up, you know, warming up to pitch before the game, and he comes up and he makes some comment. I forget it exactly, but it was something like, "I'm going to eat you for lunch," meaning whatever I threw at him was, you know.
Does that cause you any intensity?
No, that's kind of funny at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Although we're getting there.
Okay. You have some intensity on anticipating.
Yeah, I'm
something
jumping
that's coming.
forward like we tend to do and tell the
Right.
story.
Okay.
you know,
Well,
so.
but so how intense is your jumping forward? Your anticipation?
Oh, he's maybe a 4 or 5 or something.
Let's do a little work
All right,
on that.
okay.
Just,
All right.
okay.
All right.
Even though
Even though
I'm anticipating
I'm anticipating
something that's coming up
something that's coming
in
up
this story,
in this story,
I deeply and completely
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Okay, what's coming up?
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 That thing that's coming up.
That thing that's coming up.
That thing that's coming
That
up.
thing that's coming up.
The part of the story that's coming up.
That part of the story that's coming up.
That part of the story that's
The
coming
part of
up.
the story that's coming up.
Okay.
Okay. So he makes
Well,
this.
that's your intensity.
Oh,
You were anticipating
yeah,
part
it's
of the
better.
story.
It's better. I
It's
don't know.
better.
Three-ish, four-ish, something like that.
You feel comfortable moving it forward?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so he makes this comment to me, and you know, egos being with the R, I don't even know what I said back to him, like fat chance or something like that. But anyway, he basically thought he was going to own me at the plate, so I wasn't going to throw anything by him, you know. So anyway, the game goes on, and we're probably out of a 7-inning game, we're probably in the 5th inning or something like that, and Jim Cross comes to the plate, and it's nighttime, and
Do you have any intensity imagining him at the plate?
yeah, because I know what's going to happen. Okay.
So you're still anticipating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
at this
yeah.
point, are you?
I'm probably 5.
You're
Yeah.
probably a
Yeah,
5.
probably
Okay.
5.
Even though
Even though
Jim Cross is standing at that plate,
Jim Cross is left-handed batter standing at that
I
plate,
deeply and completely
I
accept
deeply
myself.
completely accept myself.
Jim Cross at the plate.
Long, tall, lanky Jim Cross at the plate.
Yeah. We're using basic language.
I know.
Yeah. Jim Cross at the plate.
Jim Cross at the plate.
Jim Cross at the
Jim
plate.
Cross at the plate.
Jim Cross at the
Jim
plate.
Cross at the plate.
Jim Cross at the plate.
Jim Cross at the plate.
Jim Cross at the
Jim
plate.
Cross at the plate.
Jim Cross at the
Jim
plate.
Cross at the plate.
Jim Cross
Jim
at
Cross
the
at
plate.
the okay. Once again, better.
Okay, right. So how much better are we down?
We're probably back down to the 3-ish again.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, I don't know what the count was, but at one point the catcher signals a curveball. Now I don't know who's in tune with a curveball is, but it's a ball that is supposed to actually curve and fool the batter.
Mhm.
Okay. It's also a ball that, because of its nature, it comes a little slower than the fastball would. You know. So anyway, I wind up and I throw this curveball, and the minute it leaves my fingertips, I remember saying to myself, "Oops, I want that one back." Because it didn't fool anybody, including Jim Cross. And it
Do
would,
you have intensity on oops?
yeah. Yeah, we'll do it.
Is
Yeah.
the intensity on the oops, or is it on maybe what's
No, it's
coming
what's
after
coming.
that?
It's what's coming. There's a
And how high is it?
crescendo coming up that's big, you know.
How high are you on anticipating the crescendo?
I'm probably back up to 4 or 5,
Okay.
you know.
Um,
I could be fooling myself. By the time I get there, I may be higher than I think, but
Right.
4 or 5.
Okay. Even though
Even though
I wanted that curveball back,
I wanted that curveball back.
I deeply and completely
I
accept
deeply
myself.
and completely accept myself.
I wanted that one back.
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 I wanted that
I
one
wanted
back.
that one back.
I wanted that one
I
back.
wanted that one back.
I wanted that
I
one
wanted
back.
that one back.
I wanted that one
I
back.
wanted that one
I
back.
wanted that one
I
back.
wanted that one back.
I wanted that one
I
back.
wanted that one back.
Okay. So when you think about the oops and the letting go of the ball. how
Well, it's not
intense-
going to be any fun when I get there, but I'm better.
Okay.
You know, 3-ish, something, you know.
Okay.
Anyway, so I watched the ball. Seemingly took 2 weeks to get there. Okay. And Jim Cross is standing there, and he watches that thing come, and it breaks and curves, and it wasn't even in the strike zone. It was down around his ankles.
Mm-hmm.
And with that big long bat, he just stepped right into it and hit it like he was hitting a golf ball off the tee.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're 60 feet, 60 inches away throwing a baseball, by the time it gets that far away, it looks like a golf ball.
Right.
Okay. And he hit that thing with everything he had, and it went right by my ear, just like that. I mean, it came that far. I mean, it came so fast, I couldn't lift my glove to deflect it,
Right.
catch it. I would just like
Okay,
that.
How intense are you now?
Big time.
Big
6'7",
time.
6'7", something
600,
like
700.
that. In there someplace. The thing went from a golf ball to
Right.
like a basketball.
Okay,
like
but so
that,
what's
you know?
what's the essence of the intensity there? Was it the surprise, or was it the threat to your life? Or...
The threat to my life.
Okay.
If that ball had been this much over,
Mhm.
I mean, right between my eyes, I couldn't
Yeah.
have moved.
Yeah.
You know, imagine that when those balls hit you right in the eye. You know.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes,
Okay. Scared spitless.
something.
All right.
Help.
6 or 7.
Yeah, at least.
Okay. So if we said, even though that ball almost killed me,
That's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
even though that ball almost killed me.
Even though that ball almost killed me.
I deeply and completely
I
accept
deeply
myself.
and completely accept myself.
That ball almost killed
That
me.
ball almost killed me.
It almost killed me.
It almost killed me.
That ball almost
It
killed me.
almost killed me.
It almost killed
It
me.
almost killed me.
It almost killed
It
me.
almost killed me.
It almost killed
It
me.
almost killed me.
It almost
It
killed me.
almost killed me.
Oops. It
It
almost
almost
killed
killed me.
me.
I'm ahead of you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So think about that ball coming right past your ear. Actually, first think of him at the plate and you see the golf ball and he's swinging the bat.
Yeah. That's not what I focus on. I focus on that instant, like
Okay,
that, you know.
all right.
It's kind of like a helpless. I was helpless. I really was. I was
Okay.
helpless. Boom, boom. I could do nothing.
Right. So helpless from 0 to 10. How intense is that?
Oh, 7 or 8. You know, I'm still there.
Well, how the it almost killed me. We didn't measure that after the round. How intense is it? I mean, there's still probably some aspects to that crescendo.
Well, that's interesting. It almost killed me. It's probably not very high.
Is
In
it
our
0?
terminology, well, I don't know about a 0, but I'm switching aspects
Okay.
because it's a helpless. It's a
Okay.
helpless feeling.
Okay. So how helpless from 0 to 10?
I'd probably give that a 7 or 8. You
Okay.
know, you know.
Even
I mean,
though.
I feel my face flush.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Even though I was helpless
Even though I was helpless.
and my face is flushing.
And my face is flushing.
I deeply and completely
I
accept
deeply and
myself.
completely accept myself.
I was helpless.
I was helpless.
And my face is flushing.
And my face is flushing.
I was helpless.
I was helpless.
And my face is
And
flushing.
my face is flushing.
I was helpless.
I was helpless.
And my face is flushing.
I was helpless.
I was helpless.
And my face is flushing.
And my face is flushing.
I was helpless.
And my face is flushing.
And my face was flushing.
I was helpless. And my face is flushing.
And my face was flushing.
I was helpless.
I was helpless.
And my face is flushing.
And my face was flushing.
I was helpless.
I was
And
helpless.
my face is flushing.
And my face was
That
flushing.
ended up being a bit of a tongue twister.
Something like.
Okay, so say I was helpless.
I was helpless. Well, that's less.
So is it 0 to 10? What number would
No.
you give it?
Let me. Probably a 2 or 3.
Okay, and is your face flushing anymore? At all?
Yes, but not from the event. I mean, we're sitting here under some hot lights. You know,
Right, okay.
there's a little bit of that
Okay.
anyway.
But
But
it's not from
it's
the
probably
helpless.
worth another round.
Okay.
I have some intensity left, but it's much
On
lower than it was.
helpless,
On
or
helpless,
is
on
there other
helpless.
words that we can use to describe it better? There's nothing I could do?
Well, I couldn't get out of the way.
Yeah. I was trapped.
Well, that's a word. I couldn't get out of the way is something like helpless, but we can at least try that one. You know.
Does helpless work better for you?
I think I couldn't get out of the way is a little more charged. It's like
Okay.
I want to get out of the way,
Right.
and that's like being and I
How
can't.
about
That's
I'm
being
frozen?
helpless. But
How about I'm frozen?
well, that's a good one. Yeah, frozen.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
frozen
if
would
you
be
say
good.
I felt frozen, how intense is that?
It's not high, 3-ish,
Okay.
3-ish.
Even though I was frozen,
Even though I was frozen,
I deeply and completely
I
accept
deeply
myself.
completely accept myself.
I was frozen.
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 Okay. Breath is good.
There went a sigh.
Yes.
You know. I'm going to close my eyes
Yeah.
and try to get.
Yeah. Try to imagine that ball whizzing past your ear. See if you feel frozen. See if you feel helpless.
Well, I'm frozen and helpless, but I don't get worked up about it. It's more like that was then, this is now, kind of.
Okay. Are you less worried that it's going to kill you?
Well, yeah, because I know it didn't.
Right.
You know, but yeah, that the gonna kill me thing, that was up early, but that doesn't seem to be there. The helpless thing, it's low. I'm not even sure it's there.
Okay.
And
Little
fr-
surprising because you were so high just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, frozen. I'm maybe a 1.
On which part? The frozen?
Well, on the intensity in general.
Mhm. Now we have another crescendo after this, do
Yeah,
we?
yeah. Yeah, that's more like that would have been higher. It's more like a 2 or 3 or something.
Okay.
No, I'm not getting much on the helpless frozen.
Okay, then
I'm not
let's
getting-
continue through the story and see what happened next.
Okay. Well, so the ball goes whizzing by my ear, and it surprised me such, and I'd never had an experience like that before, so I didn't know what my reaction.
This was the first time?
I'd have a ball come like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. When you're 16, you're invincible, especially if you're male, okay, and you play sports.
And you're
all
a
that.
pitcher.
And
right.
a pitcher and all that stuff, yes, of course. Anyway, it goes bounding over second base and out into center field, and the center fielder picks it up, throws it back in, but I'm noticing that my legs are just like rubber. They're like wobbly.
Okay, when you think about that, is there any intensity?
So it's not high, but it is noticeable. Three-ish,
Okay.
4-ish maybe.
Okay, just because your legs were rubbery, or is there another word for that experience?
Well, rubbery is one word, but thanks for the question. The other experience would be I'm out of control. It's something like helpless, but this one's out of control.
Okay.
It's like my body is doing stuff to me that I had no idea it would do.
Would that be more specific to your legs? I can't control my legs? Or I can't control my body?
No, that's a good question. Hold on a second. To me, they're pretty much the same. You could probably use either language.
Okay. Okay, and you said 3 or 4?
3 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though
Even though
I couldn't control my legs.
I couldn't control my legs.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I couldn't control my legs.
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 I couldn't control my
I
legs.
couldn't control my legs.
I couldn't control my
I
legs.
couldn't control my legs.
I couldn't control my legs.
Couldn't control my legs.
I couldn't control my
Couldn't
legs.
control my legs.
I couldn't control my
Couldn't
legs.
control my legs.
I couldn't control my
Couldn't
legs.
control my legs. There's my sign.
Yeah. You think about
Well,
it.
I'm having a difficulty time even imagining my legs wobbling. So
Okay.
So
Does that sound like 0 to you? Less than 1?
well, it sounds like 0. There's just a little bit more to the story.
Right.
So anyway, I'm sitting there with these rubbery legs, which I don't feel at the moment, and I'm supposed to go back up in the mound and pitch to the next batter, okay? And I don't really know what's going on with my body here. I know I'm scared, but of course, I'm 16, I'm macho, and all that stuff, and you don't let anybody know you're scared. I was ready to cry.
Do you have any intensity on that now?
Minor.
What is minor?
Oh, I don't know, 1.5,
Okay.
2 or something.
Can we do one
Yeah,
round on
sure,
that? Okay.
sure.
Even though, was it scared? Or ready to cry?
Ready to cry is more
Okay.
on point.
Okay. Even though I was ready to cry.
And I was 16 years old. 16-year-old men don't cry.
Okay. Even though.
And it's in front of all of my teammates,
Right.
and all the guys and the girls, etc., in the stand watching this game, my classmates, and everything else. I'm cry.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work.
Okay. So how about even though I was ready to cry and I was on display?
Ah, very good. Okay.
Even though I was ready to cry
Even though I was ready to cry,
and I was on display.
and I was on display.
I deeply and
I
completely
deeply and
accept
completely
myself.
accept
When I
myself.
was ready to cry.
I was ready to
And
cry.
I was on display.
I was on display.
I was ready to cry.
I was ready to cry.
And I was on display.
I was on display.
I was ready to cry.
I was ready to
And
cry.
I was on display.
I was on display.
I was ready to
I
cry.
was ready to cry.
And I was on
And
display.
I was on display.
I was ready to cry.
I was ready to cry.
And I was on display.
And I was on display.
So think about heading back up to the mound again and
Yeah.
all those cute girls watching you. Studly
Well,
boys and pretty
yeah,
girls.
interesting enough, because my legs aren't wobbly, or I'm having a difficult time mentally getting the wobblies back.
Right.
The fact that I'm on display doesn't seem to.
Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't seem
Ready to cry?
Doesn't seem to bother me, and I have no
Okay,
No.
that was only a 1.5. So
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't very much.
okay.
I do remember calling the coach out. You know, I asked him some. I don't even know what kind of question. I'm trying to buy time, but I wasn't about to tell anybody. And I finally got on the mountain, went on with it. But that's when it, as you can tell, I really haven't forgotten.
Yeah.
You know,
So when you think about calling the coach to the mound, and you're thinking about what you're going to say
no,
to
that's
him,
not charge. That really isn't
and
charge.
the coach is at the mound, and you're telling him, and
No, I'm getting nothing on.
okay.
It's just something that happened.
Okay, because you
You know.
expected that to hold some intensity,
Well,
maybe.
yeah, but it's interesting because my legs aren't wobbling. I'm really, this
Yeah.
thing going by my ear is. I mean, I wouldn't do it again. It would be stupid to do it again.
Be a pitcher.
To throw Jim Cross that curveball.
A meatball, did you say?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's not. It's because it was dangerous. It literally was dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's the kind of thing you
I
try
mean,
to.
I played, softball, and we coached baseball, and I've seen people get hit in the ear
Yeah.
at third base.
Yeah,
You
that ball
I
is
mean,
hard. So.
It doesn't always happen just to the pitcher. So,
Yeah.
do you want to? Can you tell that story again from beginning to end, and let's just see if there's
Sure.
any intensity.
Well, I'll short circuit the thing before the game. Jim Cross is watching me warm up, and he's.
Right. Well, think about Jim Cross coming to the plate. I mean,
Yeah,
you know
okay.
who that guy is, and he
Yeah,
already
so he's coming to the plate.
and he's already taunted you.
Taunted me, big guy. Got an ego involved a little bit, but that's not really part of it.
I'm
Big
gonna
guy,
own-
long bat. I
I'm
remember
gonna
that.
own you.
Yeah, I'm gonna own you. It's a tall bat. That doesn't.
Okay.
And there goes the curveball. I do wish I had the curveball back, but there's no intensity on it. That's just the fact that I'd rather have it back, And going, no, not really.
Okay.
I was out of the center field.
Wobbly
Big
legs.
wobbly legs.
To get him out.
No, we never got him out. No, I got it.
Never got him out.
Never got him out.
Not that time. Not any other time.
I don't know about any other time. I don't remember.
What position did he play?
I think he played left field, if I recall.
Oh, uh-huh. Did you knock him a few?
I don't know. I really didn't even know the guy very well. I don't know why he even came up to me and taunted me like that. It was just his
Right.
ego thing for the day,
Yeah.
I've since seen Jim we get together every 10 years or so, all us high school, jocks of once upon a time, we get together. And and I remember probably 10 or 20 years ago, he came to one of these things, and I said, "Jim, how you doing?" And he looked at me. He didn't even know who I was.
Oh.
And I had to talk to him a little bit. Oh yeah, now I remember. I didn't remember telling that story. There were
Yeah.
other stories going on. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, no,
So that story seems to be clear.
yeah,
Yeah.
seems to be sure.
Yeah. Okay. Would you like to do a vivid visualization just to
I can do it.
clean it up?
Yeah.
Okay. I already threw a couple of tests while you were telling the story, and none
Mhm.
of them seemed to trigger you.
No.
Okay. Okay, so vivid visualization, you're going to close your eyes, you're going to go through the story in your mind, but you're
Mhm.
going to exaggerate the sights and the sounds and the colors. You're probably going to make Jim Cross really big.
Uh-huh.
You're going to make that ball really big as it goes by your
It's
ear.
going to come faster.
It's got to come faster. Maybe it needs to be louder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Hear
Yeah.
the crack of the bat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crack of the bat, ball by the ear, probably very close in time.
Yes.
So yeah, go in there and exaggerate the wobbly legs. Maybe even imagine that you fell over in front of the girls and
Yes. Okay.
see what you get.
Well, the only thing that's left is a little bit of that coming by my ear. I mean,
Okay.
the crack of the bat I made really loud, and just like any other crack of the bat,
Yeah,
this one happened to go right by my ear.
right.
But that I probably got a 2. There's something left on it.
Okay, well, we didn't deal with the sound of it in the story.
Yeah, I could hear the seams whistling.
So is the sound maybe an aspect that we didn't get to?
Apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, is there a way to describe the sound, or just
It's just
it
this.
whizzed by my ear?
Yeah, it's a whiz, a whoosh. It's just. Yeah, it's just a whoosh.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Is that
Yeah.
what we're going to use on the reminder points?
might as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though that ball went whoosh,
Even though the ball went whoosh,
Right by my ear.
right by my ear.
I deeply,
I
completely accept
deeply,
myself.
completely accept myself.
Whoosh.
Whoosh,
Right by my ear.
right by my ear.
Whoosh. Right by my ear.
Right by my ear.
Whoosh. Right by my ear. Whoosh. Right by my ear. Whoosh. Right by my
Right by
ear.
my ear.
Whoosh. Right by my ear. Whoosh. Right by my ear. Whoosh. Right by my
Right by
ear.
my ear. Now what?
Well, imagine the whoosh right by your ear and tell me, or maybe you need to go in and exaggerate it again. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm going to try that one.
Okay.
No, it won't even go whoosh. I can't even make the
Oh,
noise.
okay.
Okay.
All right. You're deaf
So-
now.
Seems that way. Yeah.
Deaf to the baseball in your ear.
Something like that.
Good. Okay, well, I think we've done enough tests.
Seems like it.
Are you clear it's been handled?
As far as I can tell, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Okay.